Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode today of the PeaBrain podcast, where we discuss all things Plants vs. Zombies. A very quick announcement. If any of you are interested in being a guest in the very next episode, be sure to let me know over on my Discord. That is the way we are going to call each other, and I can get your voices in on the conversation. So if you have Discord or you do not have Discord, please go download it, go make an account. Be sure to add me as a friend, and that way I know who is interested and that we have the entire thing set up ready for next episode. So today we're going to be discussing a bunch of different topics regarding PvZ, all the way from PC version with hackers all the way to the console community. So yeah, don't ask what that accent was. So first of all, PC PvZ Garden Warfare 2 was actually under attack a while ago from hackers and basically normal players like you and I, who had access to something called a moderator tool section or whatever it's called. So basically this allowed them to really take advantage and abuse certain powers that us as regular gamers would never get our hands on. So basically what I mean is they could easily delete all of your stats. They could easily change your level. They can erase a lot of data on your account and stuff like that. It got out of hand, basically. It got really out of hand, and a lot of people reached out to me when that was happening, asking me what I thought about it. And to be honest, I think it's really, really awful. I get that people are trying to have fun, but don't do it at the expense of other people's accounts and playtime and characters, etc. It's just not good. It was not a good situation for those who play on PC. To be honest, I'm not sure how many of you actually play Garden Warfare 2 on PC. I know a couple of you might do. Please let me know in the comments, obviously, what you think about all these different topics, and have you experienced anything like them, and share your thoughts and opinions down below. So, yeah, Garden Warfare 2 PC was very unplayable for a long time, and as a console player, I played Garden Warfare 2 on console for the longest of time. And to be honest with you, it is a very slim possibility of them coming onto console and doing it, because it's completely different compared to PC. It's actually a lot more difficult to try and do something like that on any console game in general. So, seeing that entire event really unfold and just hear a lot of you guys talk about it, it really made a hole into that side of the community. There's a lot of people that still talk to me to this day about Garden Warfare 2 PC. Is it safe? Should they play console instead? All these different questions, and that entire situation should not have took off in the first place. It was something that was out of our control, and obviously this game doesn't really have a development team anymore. The whole AI and the whole servers, everything runs on some sort of robot machine they have wherever the flip that is in the world. And obviously with that being said, no developers and stuff like that, there was nobody around to really handle the situation until a good couple weeks later, good couple months later. They actually done something about it, as far as I'm aware. I've not really heard anything about PC since then, but talking about the entire situation, it should not have happened, and my entire opinion on it, I think it was very, very awful for not just the PC players, but for the console players as well, because it gave us the fear that it could happen on console at any point. Like I said, it's a lot more difficult to do that, but there's always that fear factor inside your brain now. Can I play Garden Warfare 2's PC safe? Can I even play the game without running into someone hacking, or someone using speed boost on normal multiplayer games, or using different abilities and characters that are not even in the game? There's all these different things that have really made PC Garden Warfare 2 stand out like a sore thumb. So moving forward, of course, another topic is the Garden Warfare 2 community on PlayStation, Xbox, console in general. Obviously, it was a topic I actually covered the other day, talking about max ranks, and it is fantastic because a lot of you responded to that. I really appreciate it. It was amazing to see you guys talk about max ranks and really give your thoughts about them. Do you think they deserve the hate? Do you think they deserve the complete and utter behavior towards them that a lot of individuals share? And that being said, I want to take it to the other side of the spectrum and talk about the new players that are still coming over to Garden Warfare. Now, I'm not sure about Garden Warfare 1 or BFN because I've not really played those recently as much as Garden Warfare 2, but I know for a fact that Garden Warfare 2 on console is still getting players, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing to see, and it is awesome to see this game still get attention from returning players, new players, and the cool thing is there's a lot of people that still come over to my channel and go, oh, I didn't know this game gets streamed, I didn't know this game still had players, I didn't know the game still got attention. And these are all different different feelings towards the game, and at the end of the day it is awesome to see new players come over to the game or return to the game after so long, because it allows us to basically really see how much outreach this game still has. And considering it doesn't get updates, considering it does not get attention anymore in terms of, from the developers and other people like that, it's awesome to see that there's still low-level players coming on. Even if they don't play for that long, even if it's like an hour every night, it's cool to see that people are still enjoying the game after so long. And that's why I spoke about in the last episode. Thank you. That's why I spoke about in the last episode the Fiesta update. It was awesome to see people actually getting together and having that little bit of fun, like we mentioned. And if you haven't checked out last episode of the PeaBrain podcast, make sure you go listen to it. It's up on the channel right now. Feel free to let me know what you think about it. So you can definitely tell the difference between both communities. You got the PC community that are really trying to ruin the game, not make it fun, and then you got the Garden Warfare 2 community on console that is trying to make it fun, trying to come up with all these different fan-made ideas, and really just try and enjoy the game. It's completely black and white. It's completely day and night comparison, in my opinion. And it is sad to see the PC community go through what they did, because PC should be more fun, because you have all these different mods and all these different extra bits and bobs you can apply to the Garden Warfare 2 game. I'm sure you can do it with Garden Warfare 1 and BFN as well. But it was a really suckish situation for the PC players, and I'm sending my condolences to anyone who did get affected by it. I don't know if any of you guys listening to this podcast actually lost any of your data, lost any of your information, etc. So hopefully you didn't. That brings me on to my next point, is mods. Now, the thing is, a lot of people have spoken about mods on the PC version of Garden Warfare 2 for a long time, and it's all about Garden Warfare 2 today. But yeah, it's awesome to see mods on Garden Warfare 2. I've seen a lot of different mods. I've seen different characters being introduced. I've been seeing different bosses introduced. I've been seeing different abilities introduced. It's awesome to see that fans are really trying to create that extra layer of fun and enjoyment and creativity for the game, because it deserves it. It deserves a spotlight, and that's why I always talk about the game the way I do, because I still feel like Garden Warfare 2, or just PvZ in general, has a spot on the shelf. I feel like it's one of the outside of the box kind of games and franchises, and that's what makes it so unique. And it's incredible to see that people are still trying to make the game fun for PC players. Obviously, us console players don't really get access to mods, because mods on console have never really been a thing. You can definitely do it, but it's just a lot more difficult. So seeing all these different mods and stuff has really made me happy to see that there are people out there just that are trying to just make the game more enjoyable for the regular player. So mods on console, it would be awesome to see, in my opinion. I think it'd be absolutely awesome to see But it is a very slim chance. I've had one or two people ask me, do I think it's possible? I don't think it is. It would be amazing to see some of these new characters and new bosses on Garden Ops and new abilities and whatever else on console. It would be amazing, but it's just a completely different level compared to doing it on PC, and that's what makes it so different. So, moving forward on the PeaBrain podcast, I do want to ask you guys a very simple question, a question that I ask quite a lot, and you can always let me know what you think in the comments down below. We briefly touched on it last episode. Are you still playing Garden Warfare 2 or just PvZ in general? I know there's a lot of you that are still playing PvZ Heroes, which is amazing. There's a lot of you that are checking out PvZ 2 with Flourish at the moment. There's a couple of you still playing BFN, Garden Warfare 1, whatnot. Do you still play any sort of PvZ game? That is the question for you lovely people. Regarding PvZ in general, though, elsewhere on the community, I actually tried to re-download BFN the other day. It still doesn't work. I have no idea why. I must admit, BFN for me, it was a different kind of game in terms of everything in general, the character design and stuff like that. I want to speak about BFN a little bit here because I know it is a very interesting topic alongside all of us as Plants vs Zombies fans. It kind of reminds me of PvZ 3 on the mobile. I'm going to try and compare them a little bit here, and I would love to hear what you have to think. So it reminds me, PvZ 1 is Garden Warfare 1. It's the classic, it's the nostalgia ride, it's oldie but a goodie, it's fantastic to still play even to this day. You've got PvZ 2 and Garden Warfare 2, which are the first game but on a whole nother level, on a whole nother scale in terms of maps, in terms of new characters, in terms of, even PvZ 2, unfortunately, Garden Warfare 2, I can't say the same. PvZ 2 is still getting updates, which is amazing. I do want to talk about that at some point, but maybe we should do that in another episode. So going back to my original point of Garden Warfare, being so different compared to, the likes of BFN and Plants vs. Zombies 3. Now, these two games are not considered the popular amongst the others. They're not really a game that, really gets talked about a whole lot for good reason. A lot of people feel like they were so different compared to their prior games. So in this case, Garden Warfare 2 and PvZ 2 on the phone, it is a hard subject for a lot of people. And I can understand why, because BFM was so different from Garden Warfare 2, but I know what you lot are thinking. How is it different? It's the exact same concept, it's the same kind of idea, but that's not the point we're getting at. We had no problem with how the game ran. It's what they changed. It is what they completely scrapped and redid. So they redid the character designs. I personally love the character designs for, characters like Oak, characters like ATs as well, because they were new. They were new characters. I had no previous recognition of their appearance, whereas, characters like Colonel Corn, characters like Citron, even Rose. I don't play roses. You lot know that by now. It is a different kind of conversation for BFN when you talk about characters that have been in the franchise already on a shooter game. So Garden Warfare 2 had Citron, had Rose, had Colonel Corn, even Foot Soldier looked a little bit wacky in BFN. It's kind of hard to accept the fact that they are brand new design, and it just looked weird to me personally. I remember logging on BFM for the first time, and I kind of sat there for a good couple of minutes looking at all these different, new character models, and I'm like, I don't know what I think about that. So it was a real pain in the butt to try and get used to it. Now, going back to my original point, it's the same thing for me with PvZ 3. Considering Garden Warfare 2 no longer gets updates, that is aside, PvZ 2 is still getting updates. It is still getting attention, and I think it's fantastic for that game to still get attention. Of course, with Flourish, of course, still gets, extra add-ons. I think reflourished, is still getting attention as well, which is amazing. And that brings me back to my we got used to it kind of point. We got used to PvZ2, and the fact that it's still getting attention to this day really, in my opinion at least, makes it difficult for PvZ3 to get any sort of attention. And I'm not saying PvZ3 is a bad game. I think it is. It's cool in its own way. It's a little bit different to what we're used to, but PvZ2 and Garden Warfare 2 set the bar so high for games like BFN and PvZ3. It's so difficult to try and reach that bar, if not get it higher. And I feel like a lot of people kind of turned away from PvZ3 quite quickly because PvZ2 was still getting updates, it was still getting new content, and it was the game that we loved, And like I said, PvZ1 and Garden Warfare 1, we go back to that every now and again to revisit the nostalgia, re-enjoy the games that we first fell in love with. Whereas PvZ2, Garden Warfare 2, we play it today. We play it in the present because they just look good, they feel good to play, and they're super, super fun. Whereas PvZ3 and BFN, they were kind of like an after effect, and it didn't feel good on either of the games, in my opinion. I played both BFN and PvZ3, and they just feel too different from the games that we love. And I think that was the main reason why, not just for BFN, but in PvZ3's case, that is the main reason why people turned away, is because PvZ2, it's the game we've all played for a very, very long time, and PvZ3 was so different in the art style, it was so different in how it looked and how it felt as a player to play the game. It just felt a little bit too much out of the ordinary, it felt a little bit too much different, wise compared to the games that we love. Now, going back to BFN here, briefly touching on the game for the past couple of minutes. Again, there's several reasons why people turned away from BFN so quickly. Was because of the lack of, what we loved. There was no variance in the game. Don't get me wrong, there are one or two things I like about BFN. I loved the map designs. I think the maps looked great. There's not really a map that comes to mind that I disliked. I really liked Battle Arena. I forgot what the name is, but I'm sure some of you might correct me in the comments. I really enjoyed the story mode. I loved Giddy Park. It was a different kind of twang on the whole battleground. It was completely different. It was fun. It was quirky. Something that PvZ should be. But there were so many key things in BFN that just weren't there, and I feel like that really hindered the game's popularity. It really slowed down the game's attention span, and that is why it had a very short lifespan on the whole console side of things. Now, you could argue BFN on the Nintendo Switch definitely, made that a little bit better because they did change one or two things on there, but there was still, again, a lot of key features such as variance, such as the gameplay, it was just too different. And I remember, I'll take you back a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen, if I will. I remember when BFN first got announced, I was like, new PvZ game, a new console game where we can shoot, have fun, have a laugh, like Garden Warfare 2, like Garden Warfare 1, and I was super excited. Don't get me wrong, this was before the trailer came out, this was before we saw anything to do with how the game looked, how it ran, etc. I just heard the name and I was like, oh, fantastic. It's not called Garden Warfare 3, but I can deal with that. It's going to be a great game, hopefully, and I had after Garden Warfare 2, I had semi-high hopes, and I remember crystal clear when the trailer dropped. If I remember, it dropped around September time, quite a few years ago now. I can't remember, September, October. I could be wrong. But yeah, I remember when the trailer dropped. I watched it, and straight away, I just felt that negative energy from BFN. It was so, I don't know. It was so. It wasn't the same feeling as I got from Garden Warfare 2, even Garden Warfare 1 when I first played that all those years ago. Those two games, I never watched trailers. I saw the game's gameplay. I loved it. I watched it on YouTube channels when I was younger, etc. And my love for both games never really faded away. I still play it today, and I still enjoy the games today because they're both fantastic with everything. Whereas BFN, out of the three games, it was the first one I saw the trailer of, and I just knew like something was off. I could tell straight away, and it really does suck because I wish for the development team's sake that BFN did well. I studied gaming in college. For a lot of you that don't know, and I know how hard it is to make a game. I know how long it is to make a game of that size. I learned all about it, and I respect them for doing something new with Battle for Neighborville. But unfortunately, change, isn't always a good thing. It isn't always a good thing, and in this case it was very much that. And I feel like the game definitely deserved some sort of love for stepping outside of the comfort zone, but I feel like they stepped too far outside the comfort zone, and I feel like again that is what made Battle for Neighborville kind of sluggish. It didn't get the reception like the other two games did, and it definitely was not on the scale of Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2. Again, there are one or two things I loved about BFN, but I feel like there was more negatives compared to positives, and I feel like even to this day, there's a lot of you guys, I'm sure that you'll share your opinions down below about BFN. There's still a lot of you guys that enjoy the game, but you just won't play it because it's not the same feeling. And I totally get that. I like I said, I wish the game got attention because I loved Oak and Acorn. I thought 80s was super good fun as well. There was a couple of good things in there. The story mode was great. The maps were great. Battle Arena was fantastic to play. That little survival Battle Arena game mode where it was kind of like one life kind of thing. There was a lot of good things, and the fact that there was too many bad things, it definitely made the game flop as hard as it did. Now, going back to my original point, saying about PvZ3 and BFN, this is a very lengthy topic here for the podcast episode. I hope you guys don't mind. The two games, definitely deserve love, but I feel like they were just too different to what we loved prior. They were too many changes, unnecessary changes. They should have kept the art style. They should have just expanded on the games. I understand why they changed it so differently. It's because they don't want it to be another Garden Warfare 2. And people say, oh, this isn't a new game. This is just Garden Warfare 2 DLC. And the same thing with PvZ 3. Oh, this could be a PvZ 2 DLC. And that is why they changed it so much, because it needed its own identity. And who knows, maybe the development team of both games felt like the whole PvZ 1, PvZ 2, Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2 hype went on for too long. Those four games have been around for a very long time. But yet again, if they've been around for a long time and there's people still playing it, there's a reason why. There's a reason why people are still playing all four of those games, still making videos, still enjoying them, and it's because they're good. They're good fun. You can have a great time solo with your friends, whoever it is. And I don't know, BFN and PvZ3 to me were just too much, and they were completely different to what we were used to. So very interesting topic there for the episode. That is the main point I wanted to talk about today. Moving forward elsewhere in the PvZ world, the Fiesta update, of course, happened a couple of days ago. And apparently it actually went pretty well. There was a lot of people that obviously, played and joined. Of course, I didn't join because I was busy doing some other stuff on the channel at the time, and I just didn't have time to sit down and play it. So, that's my bad. But I want to know in the comments as well, alongside the other points of this video, how did it go for you guys? Did you check out the event? Did you play it at all? The whole good thing about the Fiesta event, of course, what we spoke about in the last episode is that it was good because it made people interact. It made people interact, and it got returning players back to the game. It made reoccurring players, that's the word, reoccurring players come back to the game. It made new fans of the franchise. I'm sure there's a couple people out there that have never really played PvZ before, never played these games, and they might have gone, "Oh, this looks pretty bright and fun and colourful and something new." And I feel like having the event definitely helped. So, as in news updates, we have not heard anything yet. It has gone kind of radio silent on terms of the whole, getting updates for Garden Warfare 2 side of things. Who knows? We might get an announcement tomorrow or in the next couple of days or months or whenever. But we'll just have to wait and see. As an audience, I feel like we should give the developers or somewhat developers of the game or games the benefit of the doubt and try and let them discuss what they want to do in the meantime. I know a lot of you are excited to finally get some sort of update for Garden Warfare 2, for example, and the other games, and it's awesome to see people are still passionate about the games and passionate about the franchise. So awesome stuff. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a very decent episode of the PeaBrain podcast. We spoke about PC hackers briefly at the start, and we spoke about BFN and PvZ3. I would love to hear everything that I spoke about, your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to get on the podcast, please contact me on Discord saying that you're interested, and the reason why I need you to Discord me is because that is the way I'm going to get you guys heard on the podcast. That is the best way for me to set it up. So if you are interested, please get Discord or log in and message me over there. So thank you so much for listening. All things PvZ are still coming your way. Hopefully, guys are a fan of this podcast so far. Please do let me know if you want me to continue doing these. And yeah, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day. PvZ fans all over the world, be sure to stay away from chompers because they might mid-air burrow you. And of course, if you're playing foot soldiers, do not camp on rooftops. So yeah, drop a like on this if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys real soon. Stay hydrated, stay safe as always. Keep your friends and family blessed and safe as well. Catch you guys real soon.